Oh, come on! Welcome to Gabbin' Games for May 13th. I apologize about the rocky start. I'm always trying to do new stuff and make the show more interactive and more engaging. And sadly, that was a program that I had subscribed to that would allow you guys to interact with the show more with polls and games and stuff like that. And alas, I guess it's not quite ready for prime time. I guarantee you this is not choppy. If this is choppy, I will shit a brick. Yeah, no, I apologize about that. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to Monday. I'll tell you what. I just got this in the mail as well. I was busy running out to the front door to pick this up. I saw this on Games Radar today. And I read about it, and I was like, that sounds awesome. You know, because we like word games and shit. This is called Tapple. Apparently, it's a thing on TikTok. I don't watch TikTok. I'm a fucking grown-ass man. And it looks awesome. It's kind of, you know, you pick words based on letters, but every time somebody uses one of the letters, you press it, and it gets taken out of the rotation, so you got to use another letter before the timer runs out. That's pretty fucking cool. Tapple, fast word fun for everyone. Am I a shill? No. But again, if you're watching this and you have a product you want me to shill and I like it, you goddamn right I will. I'm not, you know, somebody accused me in the chat a minute ago of being an Xbox shill. And I'm like, no, but I love Game Pass. If they want to pay me ducats to, you know, Jesus Christ. If they want to pay me ducats to get on over there and promote their shit, I absolutely will. Let me know. Oh, my God, you guys. Oh, the volume is so low. Is it better now? Jesus fucking Christ. I swear to God. It's ridiculous. Why doesn't the AI just fix it? I'm cranky now. I was in a good mood. Now I'm all cranky. Fucking sick of it, man. And who can I get to produce it? It's not like I'm in a studio. I'm at home. I have no way of knowing what the audio level is with this fucking software. I should just go back to goddamn OBS. But OBS is so much less. It's like OBS is like, you know, you gotta it's like a PC compared to a Mac. I just want it to work. Fucking idiots. Welcome to the show. Anyway, listen, I want to ask you guys a question. Well, I was going to do a poll. But forget it. I can't do it now. Fuck it. I'm cranky. I'm cranky. Huh. Oh, fuck you, Bookster, you piece of shit. Well, Jaffe, you could try being better. Yeah? You piece of shit. Listen to me, my good friends. Listen to me, my good friends. I know how to go back to OBS. Gun in the chat. He's like, Jaffe, Spashbo needs to go back to, can you help Jaffe? I know how to go back to OBS. I was just trying to make something nice. I was trying to make something cool for you guys. I was trying to fucking, you know, reach beyond what the show has been. And what happened? Fuck you, Jaffe. You privileged fuck. Anyway, welcome to the show. Shut up. I got to focus. Focus, Jaffe. Meds are wearing off. All right. I want to show you something before we get really rolling. I want to show you a video. It's literally like 45 seconds, maybe a minute. It's real quick. We will talk about the PlayStation CEO stuff, of course. It just broke the news, so I haven't done much thinking about it. We will be talking about... fuck it, we'll start with that. PlayStation names Herman Holston, Hideki Nishino as its new CEOs. I'm reading this directly from Game Industry Biz, because I honestly I haven't looked at it. This is coming at me fast. Hermy Holst will succeed Jimmy Ryan, along with Hideki. Holst is CEO of the newly named Studio Biz Group, which includes all of PS's first-party teams, plus covers the dev of IP onto other mediums like TV and film. He was already head of PlayStation Studios, previously co-founder of Horizon, blah, blah, blah. And he gives a quote of he's thrilled. Yeah, what's he going to say? Fuck this shit. No. And then this Hideki fella says he's going to lead the platform business group, which includes console hardware, tech, accessories, PlayStation Network, and third-party relations. We will continue, blah, blah, blah. Who gives a shit? You know, I'm honored to be... Oh, shut up. Shut up. I mean, seriously, let me ask you guys a question. This is a cranky one today, boys. Let me ask you guys a question. What's the point of having a quote? What is the point of making a quote or a statement? Let the PR people say Herman's doing this and, Hideki is doing that. Let's back to life, back to reality. This is words that were just spewed out it's like Sarah Bond on stage a couple of days ago when she was talking about Xbox and Call of Duty. This is what Hideki says. I'm honored to be appointed. Just listen to how much useless word uses is this. I'm honored to be appointed such an important role alongside Herman. By working more closely together, we will be positioned to build incredible experiences for an ever-expanding audience now and in the future. You have said nothing. And I'm not doing a bit. I am not doing a bit. I'm just so fucking tired of this horseshit corporate crap that we just don't even question. Fuck you people. Just fucking go back to work. Okay, you're the CEO. Great. I don't need a fucking novel. Listen to what Herman said. I am thrilled to lead the studio business group and continue to build our successful PlayStation 5. You've said nothing. The video game industry is one of the largest entertainment industries of the world. I don't care. Shut up. Let's move forward. So there you go. That's who's leading it. I guess they're reporting into Hideki Kikoki Wakoki. I have no idea. The real bad news about this, of course, is that we're going to end up having to fucking deal with Horizon more. Because Herman is convinced it's some great cut fucking franchise. I'm going to tell you a little story about this. Let me just say this. There are leaders in that particular organization that were not kind when God of War 2018 was winning all the awards and Horizon wasn't. I'm not saying they were being mean assholes. I'm just saying that it was very petty sort of how they responded when God of War won a bunch of shit and Horizon didn't. I don't think Horizon's a great franchise. I think it's stupid. I think it's God, I'm cranky. What's going on? What's going on, man? Okay, let's move on. But anyway, there you got me. What do you want to talk about? I'm more than happy to talk about it. I'll put the link up right now. If you guys want to put yourself on the show and call in and give me your thoughts and fantasies, I don't give a fuck. You can do that. Here it is right here. But I mean, I don't know. We'll have to. The proof will be in the pudding regarding if it's good or not. But if you're on the if you're on the Twitch or YouTube, there's the link. Cyber says, I hope Herman Hulst doesn't turn Sony first party into a sequel and remaster machine. What do you mean into? That's what they are now. What else is it? What else are there? That's all they do now. That's all anybody does now. I mean, I get it. Why not? Anyway, listen, I want to tell you something. I was reading this story. Thoughts about Blue Point. What about them? I mean, something happened, or you just mean in general? In general, they're excellent. I love those guys. Okay. Do I think Herman will listen to the Ape Escape fan, says Eddie Torres? No, of course not. Okay. I was reading about this guy who just won $1 million. $1 million for playing Street Fighter 6. And he was at the Capcom Cup a couple of months ago. I didn't watch this. I don't really follow fighting all that much, but I was impressed by the fact that he took home $1 million, and they said next year it's still going to be $1 million. It's not going to be the big pool, because I think there was $2 million in a pool, and the grand prize guy, which was this guy, got $1 million of it, and everybody else split it based on what level you were up to. But he won $1 million. Do you know how long this motherfucker practiced? Do you know how often he practiced his Street Fighter? Like per day, how many hours a day? I want you to just tell me if you can guess how long this motherfucker practiced playing this video game. Because it's pretty impressive, this fella. No, it's not zero. I'll just tell you, he practiced 12 hours a day. Okay. So yeah, there you go. Miscellaneous gaming vids got it. 12 hours a day. So if you say he took off Sunday like the Lord did, you're looking at 72 hours a week, okay, give or take. I mean, that's literally the math. It's not give or take, but in terms of, I don't know if he actually appeared. But I'll bring you on in a minute, Ravnos. But think about this for a couple minutes, right? Think about the fact that now he's got that much money, and I don't know what the average salary in America is. I mean, somebody look it up for me if you don't mind. I would appreciate it. The average salary in America, let's just say it's $78,000 a year in most places. Think about that, man. This guy could now live off that money for the next 7-8 years. And simply practice to get better. I mean, you know, age is going to catch up with him eventually, but he could also kind of go, I'm going to find another game. I'm going to find a slower game. I'm going to get good at Hearthstone or something else, man. Okay, so the 59,000, says Awesome Tatum, in 2023 is the average. And I'm guessing like 540,000 goes to taxes. So regardless, so it's a lot of money to sit around after taxes and just keep playing. That's pretty cool. That's pretty fucking cool if you can pull that off. I watched his, I'll put it up while we're talking. You know, I watched him do this, and it's pretty impressive, I will say. It was pretty fucking impressive. But again, I don't do fighting. So this could never, ever, ever be my experience because I have never been good. Which leads me to the question. This is the final round. There was each one won, and this guy up the upper left, his name is Jury. He's going to take it all. So I was thinking about this, though, that everybody has, I don't, maybe this isn't true, but it seems like everybody's got, you know, quote, their game. This is the game I'm always good at, right? You know, when I was a kid, maybe Gyrus or Time Pilot, but not even that. I don't think I have a game. You know, I have games I love. I love Marvel Snap. I'm getting better at Marvel Snap, but I'm not, my brain isn't acclimated to be great at that game. I'm not good at fighting games. I'm not good at shooters. I'm literally watching a video right now about how to set up and tune my aiming on Call of Duty because I think there's something really wrong with how Modern Warfare 3 has the settings at default, because I'm watching myself play in videos and I'm like, Jesus, man. I mean, I could barely hit the broadside of a barn, as they say, and that's not an exaggeration. This motherfucker's a millionaire now. You think ladies will want to fuck him now because he's got $1 million? Well, not $1 million. He's got about $500,000 after taxes. You think that'll matter? Somebody out there it'll matter to her. She'll be like, well, I wasn't going to fuck you before, but you're a millionaire now. Think about that. I guess that's okay, though. Remember what Notch said? Remember when Notch sold his company for Minecraft? And he made all that, I mean, he made crazy money. And he bought a house. He stole a house. I didn't steal it, but he stole a house out from under Beyonce and Jay-Z in the Hollywood Hills that had like candy dispensers embedded on the walls and all this shit. And he said, yeah, man, the first year or two, he just burned through his money. Because he was doing all the stuff he never got to do. He was going to Vegas with his buddies, and he was getting hotel rooms and strippers and sex workers. Isn't that crazy? But I get it. I mean, money, you know, money's the great equalizer, I suppose. Anyway, that's his story. I was pretty good at fighting games, says @hacker, in my local circle, but then I went online and got my ass handed to me. Yeah, I'm terrible at all games. I love all games, but I'm not very good at them. I'll tell you that right now. Listen to this, though. This is, well, yeah, I have to correct myself, ethical human being, because I grew up saying the word prostitute. That's what we called sex workers. And my good friend here, Mutant Mo, been a member for a long time, works with a lot of professional actors and actresses in the world of the pornography. And he told me, he says, yeah, they don't like being called prostitutes. They like sex worker is the more respectful term. And so fuck you who gives a crap, Addy Pie. I do. You know why? Because they provide a service and they're doing the Lord's work. They really are too. You think about, I mean, we're going to get back to games, I promise. We're going to talk about Resident Evil 1 and Doom and all this shit in a second. But think about this for a moment. They're out there doing exactly what you want them to do, risking health and providing sex, and they get shamed all the time. How horrible. How horrible is that? Triop Mug says, we don't accept the empty corporate platitudes and non-answers, but what can you do? I work for a relatively large tech company, and every all hands is largely the same sort of hackneyed buzzword, laden banal, and meaningless shite. Everyone just ignores it. You never stop preening C-suite narcissists from talking around reality. Well, I can at least respond to them and say, fuck you, you're basically saying a bunch of fucking nothing. You're saying a bunch of fucking nothing, so fuck you. I don't like it. I'm tired of putting up with it, man. I was listening to Matt Booty the other day. He was talking about, it was behind the scenes footage on that Double Fine documentary about the Psychonauts 2, and he was there when they acquired him and shit. And he's like, it's just all it was corporate bullshit fucking speak. Just shut up. Just shut up. I would love to be one of these interviewers. It's the same thing with the political shows on Sunday. It's just like, you know what, bitch? Shut the fuck up. If you're not going to say anything honest, that's okay. But don't agree to come on the show, you fucking moron. If I was that lady interviewing Sarah Bond, I would have been like, fuck you. Get off my fucking stage. Get off my fucking stage. Here's Ravnos. What's he got to say? I apologize for being so cranky today, fellas. I wasn't in a bad mood, but now I'm just kind of cranky. What's up, Ravnos?
Why are you so cranky?
I don't know why I'm so cranky. I'm not mad. Like, I'm still in a good mood. Like, I'm enjoying life and everything. But something happened in the last 20 minutes, probably when the stream I was preparing didn't go off as planned. And my tolerance for putting on horse shit has now dropped to an all-time low. And seeing these stupid, smug fucking faces of these CEOs like, we're going to stand here and be all professional. I'm like, fuck you, you fucking rich fucks. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of the 1%. I'm so fucking tired of them. I'm tired of their greed. I'm tired of them being dicks. I'm tired of their cruelty and their selfishness. I'm just sick of it, man. What do you want to talk about, Ravnos? Go.
Yeah, well, why am I hearing myself?
I don't know. Why? That's what you called in to ask me?
No. I was just calling in to find out why you were so cranky and why you hate Herman Hulse. You have to have dirt on him.
I have a little bit, but not much dirt at all on Herman Hulse. I've never met the man, frankly. I don't hate him.
I mean, ask the chat. Every time you talk about him,
but that's not a personal thing. I don't like
his non-Americanism.
I don't like his Horizon games, and I don't like how much he seems to value them.
They're good games.
They're not good games.
I like
is the worst fucking character first party has ever made. Ever. People are asking if there's an echo. Where's the echo coming from? Is it coming
I'm telling you, I don't know what's happening. I hear it too, and I don't know why.
I can't tell. I don't think it's on my side. Ravnos, don't say anything. Just don't talk for a second. All right. Is the echo still there? It's only happening when Ravnos talks, fellas.
You there? Yeah, I hear myself coming through you, but I'm only doing this.
Well, you should. Are you listening to me on the screen, or just figure it out, dude? I gotta go.
Here, I'm gonna go. Put the link back up.
Yeah. I got nothing. I got nothing against Herman Hulse as a person. He seems fine. I don't like. That's what it is. I hate Alloy. I don't know what it is about her. I fucking hate her. I really do. I hate that character. She's an awful character. I have a real pet peeve with that character. Isn't that weird? But I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's not StreamYard. Why would StreamYard be echoing? You're telling me right now, even with Ravnos gone, you guys are still hearing the echo? Oh yeah, if you guys are talking about gameplay, I will tell you that the combat in the Horizon games, especially the newest one, is fucking fantastic. I'm not knocking the art. The art is beautiful. The combat is beautiful. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I'm so bothered by it. I'm bothered by it because you've got this perfection of a video game in terms of execution. And at the creative level, it's just so benign and so dumb. That's what I don't like about it. That's what bothers me about it. She's a terrible character. They should make the Horizon 2, and the first 10 minutes she dies, and they bring up a new character, and everything gets solved. That's what I would say. Herman Hulse will not greenlight small weird games. I mean, ultimately, I think Herman Hulse. Look, anybody, and we'll talk about this seriously in a second. Anybody who is in that job knows good and goddamn well that this is going to be a relatively impossible task to solve. I mean, it's not solvable. These guys, we'll get to it in a second. We'll talk about why it's not solvable. First, I want to talk about this real quick. I want to name a couple of games for you. This is what I was going to do with one of the polls, but I'm going to name you 6 games. And I'm just going to have to go on my gut and just look at it. I want you to tell me which one of you think, what you think out of these 6 games is the very best game in this list. Are you ready? Here you go. Red Dead Redemption 2, The Witcher 3, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Skyrim, The Last of Us, and Elden Ring. I'll read them to you one more time. Red Dead 2, Ocarina of Time, Skyrim, Last of Us, Elden Ring. Okay. Yep. Only one person, it looks like, has answered with Ocarina of Time. This is the issue of Game Informer, and they basically did a poll starting. They did what is this called, like the March Madness, and they said, hey, what's the greatest video game of all time? And they asked their readers, and it eventually went down to those 6, and it won with Ocarina of Time. And what I was trying to figure out is Ocarina maybe a nostalgia vote? Right? Because Ocarina is fine, and for its time, it was incredibly groundbreaking, and that should be applauded. But when you say what is the best game of all time, I don't think Ocarina makes any sense to be up there. I could be wrong. I just wanted to see, what you guys think. I love Zelda, says Mug, but not so much Ocarina. It's nostalgia talking. I think so too. Chrono Trigger, Eddie T, I don't even know if that was on the initial. Yeah, here you go. Chrono Trigger went head-to-head with League of Legends, and Chrono Trigger won, okay? And then Chrono Trigger fought up against Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, and Knights of the Old Republic kicked its ass. Think about that. I know best game is subjective. Of course the best game is subjective, but I'm just saying when you basically have the readership voting, subjective as it is, the majority is still communicating, hey, we think this is the greatest thing ever. I mean, my favorite game of all time is Elden Ring, but I mean, I just think these things are bad. I don't know how you decide something like that. Knack wasn't even in there, god damn it. Come on now. When are people going to learn, says Gun. Democracy doesn't work. I don't know. Yeah, I loved Elden Ring review group. Okay, anyway, I wanted to see what you guys thought. Resident Evil 1, I want to talk about this. There's rumors are starting to swirl more than usual that RE1 is getting a remake, which I think is great. I love the remakes that Resident Evil has done. I have played them all. I have finished them all, which you know is a hell of a compliment coming from me, given I never fucking finish video games, okay? Even games I love. My favorite game of all time, Elden Ring, didn't finish. I love the changes they make to the remakes. RE1, I'm looking forward to it. I don't mean like the HD remake. I mean they're doing it like the remake system they work with, right? So they'll add stuff and quality of life stuff and new ideas, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So then the question, though, becomes, let's say that works. I'm sure it will. It'll be great. What do you do with Resident Evil at this point after that? I know there's a rumor they're making 9, okay? But this is what I'm worried about. And this is probably my favorite franchise of all time. It used to compete with Metal Gear. Now it's number 1. Absolutely number 1. That's interesting, Captain Howdy. I want to see in open world Raccoon City. Interesting. But here's the question. Do you go RE9, 10, 11, 12? You just get into that danger of being Final Fantasy at this point. We'll talk about Square in a second. But you get into that danger of being like, unless you are really in the fandom, you just sort of, it's hard to find, it's hard to bring new people in, because then you're just kind of like, my God, there's so many, you know, it's intimidating. It's like, I don't want to jump onto Resident Evil at number 11. I almost wonder if they should just do, just make a new horror franchise. Keep it same kind of game, keep it in the, maybe even keep it in the universe, but just stop calling it, like, let Resident Evil just stop being Resident Evil for a while. You know, it's too much. I don't think it's smart. There was a recent report that showed Resident Evil has sold 88 million copies and over half of that has been since RE7. It's incredibly successful. I think by this point you're starting to get to the point that people talk about the Umbrella Corp and Wesker and all this shit. And it's just like, I don't think most people, I just think it starts to be not good. Like, go hire a great horror writer, like kind of like what they did with with R.R. Martin, with George R.R. Martin, with the Elden Ring, right? And hire a great horror writer, and still do Resident Evil, make it an action horror game. They make them brilliantly. I'm not knocking the games. I'm just kind of saying it's confusing, and it's not a great story. It's a great story for nostalgic reasons, but it's not a great story. It's dumb. It's dumb. RE could become like Final Fantasy if Capcom did the same thing Square did, make it an anthology. Well, I understand. I wouldn't pick up the Walking Dead license. Good idea, Ad Hacker. I'd make their own. We don't want RE to become the Jason X of video games, says Film Gamer X. I mean, there's truth. There's truth in that. Anyway, that's just my thought on that. But I will be very excited when this gets announced, for sure. But I would love to see them pick up a much better way of doing their horror, man. Doom. The rumor is next month at the Microsoft Xbox Showcase, whatever, Doom is going to be there. I have some questions for you guys. I love the first remake of Doom. Doom Eternal is brilliant. Can't finish it. Brilliant. Fucking brilliant game. First off, my question is multiplayer. I know that the new Dooms have multiplayer, but did any of them, like, since back in the day, did the new Dooms ever catch on? Like, multiplayer wise? Like, do you think this one's going to, it'll be on Game Pass probably. So in that, perhaps you'll instantly have a massive user base. But, like, did the multiplayer explode when it went free, when Microsoft purchased whatever those guys are called, Bethesda? The multiplayer of Doom is complete ass. Okay. 2016 multiplayer exploded for a bit, not really big. I've never even tried the multiplayer, and I love Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal, says Brett. So I wonder what's going to happen then. I wonder if they're going to really kind of push it on that, but I hope not. I hope not. What's crazy is, you know, Doom. I'm trying to remember Doom 3. The original Doom 3 was not something I enjoyed. I didn't play it for very much back in the day. The original with the flashlight and all that shit. But I do wonder. Like, I remember being very disappointed in Doom 2 conceptually, because the idea of Doom 2, the original Doom 2, was this is set on Earth. Hell on Earth was the tagline. And I know Doom Eternal, if you squint real hard, it's kind of set on Earth, but I do think that would be, I would love to see that. Like, I don't know if I want to see the new Doom go back to another heavy metal album cover setting. Not that I don't want that in the real world, but I want to see our world torn apart by this shit. You know, I want to see, and I know, again, Doom Eternal, there were some parking garages and there was a subway, and I remember that, but it was so unrelatable that I really think it would be a lot of fun to sort of have that gameplay in a setting that, you know, I want to do it in a movie theater, man. I want to do it in a crowded movie theater and the demons bust through and we're fucking killing everybody and all that shit. It would be awesome. It would be awesome. Yeah, Masochistic, that's right. It was 2 destroyed. That's right. That's exactly right. They could run with the Doom lineage story and maybe have a Doom Slayer from a different era. Yeah, absolutely. What do you mean you've seen? Red Lantern says we've seen that so many times, though. Where have you seen that? In the Doom section? Eddie says there were office buildings with big firefights. Yeah, but they were so destroyed. And there were no civilians that it just kind of, it blended into the background, right? It wasn't, it wasn't part of the personality of that game, to me. But I think that's interesting. Jack in the chat says Medieval Doom. I don't know if you guys saw that poster for the new Prey movie or the new Predator movie, which is Prey, right? But the new one is set in the trenches of World War I. I just think finding those new fun places, especially if they're not going to make many changes, and I don't think it's time to reinvent Doom again. I think take Doom Eternal, spice it up a little bit, toss us a couple of new fun grenades and shit, or grenades, mechanics and shit, and toss grenades. But basically just give us a real fucking sequel, you know, because it's not tired yet. But I do think when you're doing that, you need to find some settings that are fresh. I just don't want to see it in the heavy metal album cover as much as I love that shit. A game that's a mix of Lust from Beyond and Doom would be killer. Yeah, but they're never going to fucking do that. Lust from Beyond, if you don't know, is kind of an X-rated, great video game. That's kind of horror Lovecraftian. So, you know, Doom in that would be pretty cool. Doom 2016 is a snooze compared to Eternal. Oh, I agree. Absolutely. I agree. Eternal is one of the best action shooters of all time. I'm assuming you guys don't think it's time to reinvent it or to take Doom Eternal and just reboot it, correct? It's keep it as is, right? It is a great horror game, Ravenos. I mean, look, I have a different definition of horror than a lot of people do. I don't think Resident Evil are good horror games. I think they're excellent action games that have a great horror aesthetic. But those are, I've never been scared by a Resident Evil game in my fucking life. Ever. Why reinvent? Let it shut down for a while, says Hattie Pie. I think we're due for a new Doom. I want a new Doom. Yeah, everybody wants to just change the setting in the story. Don't reinvent it. I'm with you. RE is survival horror. Whatever. It's an action adventure game is what it is. I didn't say Doom is good horror. I didn't say Doom's a horror game. I'm just saying that I don't think Resident Evil it feels like true horror. You want Doom Battle Royale. That'll be quick. That'll be quick for me. Okay. Painkiller remake. Oh, by the dev team of Doom Eternal. I mean, look, man, I loved the Painkiller series, but it doesn't have a lot of legs in for most people to greenlight something like that. But I hear you. Assassin's Creed Wednesday is going to be coming out and showing us what did they came up with a name for it, right? The one set in ancient Japan. They're showing a cinematic trailer coming out this week. It's interesting to me because I don't know if it's going to be more like Mirage, which is more of a back to basics, or more like Valhalla. It's probably going to be more like Valhalla. And that's cool. I mean, that's their best-selling Assassin's Creed. It's so big and so long. That's what you said. It's so big and so long that I'm just like, I don't know. But I like the ninja stuff. But then maybe the ninja stuff and the samurai stuff is going to be played out by the time this drops, especially given that we may see at the Sony showcase Ghost of Tsushima 2. So I don't know. Who is still buying Assassin's Creed games, says Eddie T. I'll tell you what. A lot of people. Like I said, the Assassin's Creed Valhalla was the best-selling Assassin's Creed of all time. And right before that, Assassin's Creed Odyssey was the best-selling. So a lot of people are still buying it. The question is how many people finish it. And more importantly, I've started to ask myself this. More importantly, the question becomes to me, is it okay that you don't finish games? Like, maybe people are just like, no, I'm cool with that. I know there, maybe the number of people that really are like, I feel stressed to finish it. There are not a lot of them. They're vocal, but most people are like, no, I played it for, 2 months and I moved on with my fucking life. And that's cool. So maybe Ubisoft is absolutely right. They're like, look, as long as you play it long enough that you don't feel you didn't get your money's worth. We're okay with the fact that you got to the part of the game where it's padded like a motherfucker. And in that, a lot of people are going to wash out, but that's fine. I mean, maybe that's baked into the design, I could never do that as a designer. I could never, maybe I could if I knew going in, it's like, look, let's design, there's going to be 5 stages of this fucking game, right? Stage 1 is for the people who want to play for 4 to 5 hours. And so there is that first act is 4 to 5 hours, and it gives you a great sense of closure and satisfaction. And then we've got the second group, who are going to play for about 20 hours, right? I mean, if you build that in and you build it in sort of and make each section valuable, that could be cool. Hey, a political call's coming in. Let's take it together. Hello?
From your county supervisor and ask your questions, please stay on the line or press 1 on your telephone keypad. We'll begin shortly. Please note, this call may be recorded.
Well, this call's definitely being recorded.
Hi, this is Alyssa with San Diego County Supervisor Tara Lawson-Remer. We are calling to invite you to a live telephone town hall.
Boring. I wanted you to take a poll or some such. It's RFK. Can you get the worm, buddy? Valhalla was very good, says Daniel. Yeah, I'm not knocking it. It just seems really, really fucking long. I'm excited to see Xbox wipe the floor with Sony. We'll talk about that in a moment. Listen to this. Related. Did you see this story in the video game news about this guy who was trying to 100% Zelda, the new one, Tears of the Kingdom. And he got his file corrupted when he got to 82%. Now, I haven't even finished the goddamn game, let alone got near 100%. But my understanding is that is one of the hardest, longest games to actually 100%. And his file got corrupted, and he actually tweeted about it, and he said, oh, thank God. He was grateful. He was relieved he didn't have to do it anymore. And then it turned out somebody said, oh, here's how you can fix it. And he's like, fuck, it worked. Now I have to complete it. That's the only thing I would say. There's something weird about that compulsion that games create to finish them, even though you're not having a good time. And again, I don't know if that's a vocal minority that gets behind that. I don't know if that is games just do that. But I have been... Yeah, Cyber Exile says that's work at that point. That's right. I have felt much better in my life since I have allowed myself to let games go, even games that I fucking love, right? Like, Gabriel says, I feel guilty not finishing games. I understand. But it's weird. It's weird, man. People, that you shouldn't feel guilty about it. But you're right. Games are supposed to be fun, Bookster. But yeah, it's like, I like Dead Space Remake. I absolutely fucking loved. Fucking love that game. And I think there's like 13 chapters, and I got to chapter 11, wherever the chapter is that you are fighting that tentacle monster that's kind of all around the space station outside. And I just got busy with another game, and I haven't gone back to it. And I'll never go back to it, probably. And it kind of just feels like that's weird that we have this medium that just works that way, that it's a common thing that people don't finish it. Like, it seems to me like we're going to look back at that in 20 years or 15 years and go, can you believe that was a time when that occurred, when people did that with the interactive art form? It all comes down to the gameplay loop, says Machine. Well, yeah, but again, it's the narrative games I rarely finish. Because the loop gets boring. But like I look at my playtime of Marvel Snap, I'm at like almost 600 hours on that. And I still play it all the time, 3-4 times a day. I spend $10 to $15 every single month on that fucking game. Mug says, I drop games as soon as I stop enjoying them. I have no compulsion to finish them. Tears of the Kingdom, on the other hand, I played for 400 hours and I finished twice. I just love being in that world. No interest in 100%ing it, though. I just do what I want to do. I just like achievements. Yeah, I'm with you on that. But beating games used to be an accomplishment. Now the vast majority anyone can beat. It could be ADD, John Weston. It could very well be ADD. But that's what I'm feeling. And it just seemed weird to me that this guy's response when he lost his Zelda file was not, oh lordy, what will I do? It was, oh thank God, I no longer have to deal with this burden. Mecca says, I want you to listen to this question, because this is an important question that reflects part of the problem. Do you think you would finish more games if you didn't have Game Pass and there weren't as many steady releases? The answer to that question is it shouldn't matter. And I've talked about this a lot, so I don't want to belabor it too much. But the idea that if something better or more interesting comes along, and you give up, or affordable, like, oh, it didn't cost me any money, and so you give up what you were doing for the new thing, that's a problem with the game. That's not a problem with me and ADD. That's a problem with the fact, if you're ever watching a movie or a TV series, and you're enjoying it, do you feel like it's work to get back and finish it? No. It's one of the reasons story games are something going on. We just assume stories and games work together without really spending time and understanding, And yet he finished Starfield, says Billy Bones. I did. I loved it. It was delightful. Okay. Any thoughts on trophy data showing Spidey 2 and God of War having 50% finishing the story? What are they doing that other games aren't? That's still shitty. But I don't know. Spider-Man 2 goes out of its way to allow you to get out of tough situations by slowing the game down or dropping the difficulty. I could not finish God of War, so I don't know. 50% is not great. It's great compared to other games, Arathizzle, but it's still shitty. It's ridiculous that is how long narrative-based games, that we look at that as an accomplishment. My understanding is the number one franchise of completion, though, is the Resident Evil games, or are the Resident Evil games. And I'll tell you something else. Every single one of those games in the remake series, I have finished. Every single goddamn Cock-a-Doodle one. So they are doing something right. They're doing something right. No, I understand 50% is high, you guys. I'm saying that's bad. Like, that's embarrassing. That's kind of like saying, out of all the students in the class, these three, scored the highest. They got a 65 out of 100. It's like, well, it's good compared to the other kids, but it's still, you missed 35% of the goddamn answers. So here's the link if anybody wants to call in and share what their thoughts are. Eddie T says RE3 remake butchered the original and scrapped so much content. Again, if I appreciate the frustration of fans, but since I never played RE3, I would say that I didn't know what I was missing, so it didn't bother me. Square Enix comes out today, and they say, hey, we're going to lay off a bunch of people this week, which sucks, but it is what it is. It's that business. And they also said we canceled a bunch of games that don't adhere to this new policy. And the new policy is basically multi-platform and what was the other thing? It was multi-platform, AAA, and something else. But the main thing was the multi-platform, because Square's historically been, they've been very, what's the word? Not misogyny. When you don't fuck around with your goddamn partner. Come on, what's it called? You're doing that. You're married and monogamy. Monogamy is what it's called. Jesus Christ. They says to them, we're going to get away from that. And everybody's saying that. Hell, even Sony's finally coming around to saying that. There's just, and this is what's got me thinking. I mean, first off, Square's I've got a lot to think about on this. There's a lot of stuff, monotony. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff on this I don't understand. I don't know how I feel about this. Here's the first thing. So, I mean, am I wrong in saying, wouldn't Square be better off, Square Enix, if they just, if people loved Triangle Strategy, which is a terrible name. They loved Octopath Traveler 2, which is a terrible name. And those games are fucking 2.5D games. Why not just become Square and just go back to making... I don't know what the money was with when they made what's that new RPG that came out that's very inspired by Secret of Mana, Sacred Souls or something. Why not just go back and make those kinds of games? The fan base loves them, and the people, when you look at the drop from Final Fantasy Remake to Final Fantasy Rebirth, right? I mean, it is Sea of Stars, what it was called, yeah. I mean, it was massive, right? Maybe there's just not a market for people to want to play shit like that. Just fucking play, make games that are like traditional RPGs. Shareholders won't accept it. Well, fuck them. Then spin off and stop being a goddamn public company. Do you need the money that goddamn bad? I mean, fuck. Well, no, see, that's different, though. So Eddie says Baldur's Gate proves that Baldur's Gate 3 proves there's a market for turn-based games. Yeah. Oh, and it also proves there's a market for expensive games. But that game is not a visual powerhouse. That game is not cinematic. But yeah, I know what you're saying. I agree. You would assume people wouldn't play Rebirth if they didn't also play Remake. So it being smaller would make sense. Yeah, I know. But this is what I'm saying. It's like, they're too expensive, especially coming from Square. They should just go. I mean, I know you can't do it. I know the stockholders wouldn't approve, but my God, here's a better question then, okay? Because this kind of goes to the heart of it. Here's a better question. It's not really solvable, is it? Right? All of these people, whether it's Herman and his new job or the Square guys trying to fucking turn this shit around, or whoever they replace Matt Booty with and Phil Spencer, if they do, end of the day, these guys at this level have painted themselves into a inescapable corner. The games, the audience, unless you fundamentally change core video games, you will not be able to spend anywhere near the money you've been spending on them. Or you have to change the production value of them. There is no escape from that conclusion, right? Because you're not growing your audience. And if you want to grow your audience with these kinds of games, you're going to have to do things that core gamers don't like. But core gamers aren't going to be happy either way, because you're either going to have to make fewer games, which is happening, or you're going to have to make less impressive production value games, which is happening, which they don't like that either. Or you're going to have to simplify them and make them more mainstream. But all these companies, all they're doing is extending their lifeline maybe another couple of years. Like, even if Square says everything's day and date, it's Xbox, it's PC, it's Game Pass, well, not Game Pass, but whatever. It's Switch, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. So you're going to scoop up an extra 40 million people, maybe? And then what? The budgets aren't stopping. So ultimately, your core business model is broken. And I wonder, and it worked great for a long time, but I wonder if there was like some savant, or if you even needed to be a savant, that, could someone have forecasted this 20 years ago? Like, in the height of the PS2, could somebody have looked at this and said, look, this is what's going to happen, and we can build a business around that because we'll make a shit ton of money for a long time. But there's a point where this won't sustain. And is it just like, yeah, we'll just ride it out till the train, falls off the tracks? But, at this point, I get the stockholders won't be happy, but I also get that, the only real solution is to spend less money or dumb the games down. Nobody saw Fortnite and Roblox coming, says Joker. Yeah, no, but I mean in terms of console games and more straight up, core video games. Absolutely. Jaffe, why do I think Colin hates Game Pass? Well, you can ask him yourself. He will be coming on the show tomorrow, by the way. Colin Moriarty will be here tomorrow on this very show at... What time's he coming on? I'll tweet it out, but I want to say it's 11:30 or something, or 12:30. It's earlier than now. But he'll be on tomorrow. We're going to talk about Xbox. We're going to talk about gaming's future in general. We're going to talk about a few surprise topics. Obviously, I'm sure he'll have a lot to say about the CEO switcheroo at PlayStation. And then, of course, we'll jump to QA and let you guys ask your own questions to good Sir Colin Moriarty if you have them. Shareholders, says Mug, ruin everything. But without them, we wouldn't have our pensions. I hate it. Independent studios is where the art is still being made without the dependency of huge growth. I don't know what's next for AAA. It's kind of fucked. They're simply fucked. They are, and I think it's great. I think it's great. I mean, I don't think it's great that people are losing their jobs. But I think it's great that the industry is correcting itself. The art form is correcting itself. It's happening in movies as well. I can't complain. It makes it a stronger medium. And would you be willing to let the, if we'll get to ChatGPT in a little bit, would you be willing to let the industry change what a definition of video game was to get more people playing? I don't mean make them Candy Crush, right? But like, I believe it or not, speaking of ChatGPT, I went to ChatGPT today and I asked, I said, what do you think? Give me some examples of things that core games could do to make themselves appealing to a bigger audience. And it threw out a lot of the obvious ones, but one of the ones it threw out that I thought was interesting was this idea of maybe every game should have a mode that is for casual people. And so you could still play Ragnarok, and you would probably lose length on the core game, because you'd have to have development focus on those, the casual version. But the casual version would only be 3.5, 4 hours long. Everybody could finish it. It would use all the pieces of the other games. It's not like they'd have to make a lot of new material, but it would be designed to be more of a short narrative. And it would design to be more of something that is meant to be engaging and fun and compelling enough at a gameplay level. But and I don't mean your grandmother could play it, but you could certainly expand the audience more. I thought that was an abridged version, says Chin Whiskers. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a really fucking good idea. No, Machine XP says that short, maybe more like 8 to 10. No, you're good. If you like 8 to 10, just get the game. The game will take care of you. It's there. But this I thought was a good idea because it's the people that are like, they just don't play them because they're too intimidating. They're too fucking intimidating. The length, the difficulty, it's got to happen, man. I'm not saying make Candy Crush. It's got to happen. Daniel says, hey, look, motherfucker, thank you for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate it. He says, getting out of high-tax states like California could save millions and move to business-friendly states. And there's not a lot of game company. I mean, there's a lot of game companies that aren't in California. I mean, Bethesda's Xbox now, but they're in, Maryland? And you got some developers in Florida. You got a number of developers in Washington, Oregon. It's not just California, but sure. I mean, taxes would help, but it's not going to solve. Thank you for the super chat, and I appreciate your take on it. But it's not going to solve the problem of $300 million budgets when the audience isn't growing. Okay. CW says, if your favorite band said we're going to make music for our casual fans, would you be happy about that? No, but they're not dealing with the issue that games are dealing with. If you have a favorite developer like the guys who made No Rest for the Wicked, which is brilliant, Moon Studios, right? And those guys are able to make games for the hardcore, that's fantastic. But that's not most studios these days. And there are people, most of my favorite developers are making indie games. So frankly, if they started making big games, I'd be like, that sucks, but I get it. There's always somebody else waiting in the wings to make something good. Chin Whiskers is a great point. He says games get in their own way for most people. They do. Oh yeah. Well, I don't want to get rid of the weirdness. Eddie T says, imagine a 4-hour Kojima game that gets rid of all the weirdness for normies. I don't want to get rid of the weirdness any more than I want David Lynch to get rid of the weirdness. But do I think normies could appreciate, Metal Gear with less talky cutscenes? Fuck yeah. Absolutely. So do I think AI is going to affect, it's going to affect everything, including QA, FBI. Will AI replace QA testers? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. We're going to look at some of the stuff from ChatGPT in just a little bit. It's staggeringly impressive what they announced today. I cannot wait to play with it. I want to show you guys something real quick. This is a video that's going around over the weekend. I already told. I love this. Maxwell Culvedo says this. Bruh, I thought you were going to talk about Sony CEOs. Bruh, I already did. You're the one who's late to the party. It's like you're coming into a class an hour and a half late and going, well, I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, because you're late. It'll be on video demand, my good friend. Come at me with all caps, call me bruh. Jaffe, you think PS has forced Jim Ryan to retire because he was going down the wrong road with service? I don't know why he was pushed to retire, or if he was. I think he was. I don't think, again, unless somebody wants to come to the table with some real fucking out there possibilities, like, hey, let's make abridged versions of all of our games or whatever. And even that may not work. then I don't think any of these people are going to be able to solve this. So, you know, Helldivers 2 is fucking exploding. It's wonderful. A lot of people adore it. It's a huge hit for Sony. But is Concord going to do that? Is Jade's game going to do that just because it's a service game? Of course not, because most service games tank. You know, Cameron in the chat says he thinks buying Bungie was what caused them to push him out. I have no idea. You miss Shuhei being in charge of PlayStation. Here's what I would love to see Sony do. I would love to see Sony, not PlayStation, but Sony create a publisher that is out of PlayStation, and it is a boutique publisher. And it's Shu's deal. Shu runs it. And he's so good at recognizing great games, and he's so passionate that it's just like, look, let him, you know, is it going to make the kind of money that a big fucking hit like Helldivers 2 would? No. But you know what? Does everything have to be that? Jesus, at this point, I just want a company to start and say, you know what? We're never going to become a public company. Ever. Just fucks everything up. Okay. Let's move forward. I want to show you this video. Now this, I'm sorry, I disagree with this guy that I'm about to show you. I do. I think he's just, do I sympathize with the man? Absolutely. Do I think that the game could be great? Absolutely. And do I think the man has a great point? Absolutely. But he's out of his fucking mind. Right? He's just wrong. And I know people are dicks on the internet. This is the guy who's working on a game. Let me show you what the game is first if you haven't seen it. I've been wanting to play this game for a long time. It's called Hypercharge. And it's a shooter that basically takes place in a toy store. Okay? We've seen mods like this before. But this team has gone all in. Let me show you. Hypercharge. I'll show you what it is. Hypercharge unbox gameplay. Okay. Third person shooter. The toys come to life and everybody's happy, right? Here's the trailer. No, I don't care about this. I want to see the gameplay. Don't care. Where's the game? Nobody cares.
What are you waiting for? Welcome to the world of Hypercharge. Explore, defend, survive. Play single player with bots or co-op and split screen with friends. And best of all, customize your action figure.
Okay, so it's basically Toy Story, Small Soldiers, blah blah blah. Okay, and I know that it's been in various forms of beta for quite some time. It's finally coming out, and I know it says there's a campaign. I'll wait and see. To me, this looks like it's primarily designed to be a shooter, a co-op or online competitive shooter. Is what this is what I think. Awesome says, I played it on Switch. It's not as cool as you want it to be. It may not be. But regardless, let's assume it is. Let's assume they've patched it up, made it awesome, comes out in a couple of days or a couple of weeks, May 31st, okay? So this is the lead developer, head of the company. This is what he said. Somebody sent him this tweet, which he'll read you, and then we'll talk about this.
Game is dead on arrival without Game Pass. Laugh out loud. You should have just taken the Game Pass. Game is dead on arrival without Game Pass. Laugh out loud. You should have just taken the Game Pass money, then you would have a bit of a player base that would actually end up buying the game. Oh. So, first of all, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everybody who has already pre-ordered our indie game. It honestly means so much that I can't. Words don't do it justice, but honestly, it means so much to us that you believe in you believe in us and what we're making, and us as a team as well. As we're not a large team. We're just 6 indie devs. We're not a large corporation. We don't have millions or billions of pounds of budgets here and there. We're just 6 best friends who are making our dream game. We're finally bringing it onto our dream console. And just because it's not on Game Pass doesn't mean that it's not, that it should be completely dismissed, or that you shouldn't give it a try, or just start throwing out comments that nobody's going to play it and this and that. At the end of the day, support indie devs, support games also that aren't on Game Pass. Game Pass is great, has its perks, but not every game is necessarily the right fit for it, and yeah, there's nothing more I can say. I'm sorry our game isn't on Game Pass, but it isn't. It's, you pay for the game and put a lot of effort into it, a lot of effort and heart and soul into it, and we believe it's a fair price. And I don't know what else I can say.
So I know what else I can say. I mean, do I feel for him as a human? Absolutely. It must be really, really tough. But it's stupid that it's not on Game Pass. And again, they may not have been given the opportunity for it to be on Game Pass. So fine. But it's just like the game that Namco put out last Friday, which was the Pac-Man Battle Royale game. Which is ridiculous to put out a multiplayer-centric game in this day and age where you're not making it, doesn't have to be on Game Pass, but it needs to be free to play. And if you can't do that, that's okay. But don't complain about the fact that the people, and they're being dicks to you in the way that guy wrote the thing. What an asshole. But he's not wrong. Can you name many video games that are multiplayer focused that have done really, really well, that have not been free to play? I understand Helldivers 2. I understand that there are, exceptions, but they are exceptions. Jeeves says Donkey's new game skipped the Xbox entirely. Yeah, it's a single player game. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about multiplayer-centric video games. Yeah, you can say Call of Duty, but they still have Warzone, which is free. Vitaphone says, I thought his response was respectful and didn't come off as complaining. I don't care if he complains. He has a right to complain. But I'm not saying I have a problem with him as a human. I'm saying that it's a pretty dumb narrative to think that you can compete in that market unless you are coming from a big publisher like Splatoon 3, without either going free to play or Game Pass or PS Plus day one. I mean, hell, it's, look at Foam Stars. Foam Stars, I think, was free for a month on PlayStation Plus. It was dead before it was not free. So I'm just kind of saying I understand his angst, but I bought a game the other day on Steam and I just haven't had the time to return it yet. Called it's some kind of Fall Guys ripoff, but it looked good and people said it was good. I bought it the day it came out of early access and I was just like, there's no one fucking playing it. There is no one fucking playing it. It's just too fucking competitive to launch a game like this. Now, if this game is mostly single player or co-op, then I think that's awesome. Then they have a marketing problem because the trailer doesn't explain that. The trailer makes it look like it's primarily a multiplayer game. But yeah, I don't. Joker says multiplayer games can only benefit from more access unless you're like from a big publisher like a Mario Kart or whatever. It's fucking dumb. Every fighting game, almost none of them are free, says Brad. Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, I don't think fighting games sell what they used to. Certainly, the new Mortal Kombat did not come close to competing with the last Mortal Kombat. But I mean, there are games that do it. There are genres that do it, but there's not a lot. And that's a good question, though. I don't know why that fighting games are able to get away with it. Didn't the Exoprimal game from Capcom flop despite being on Game Pass? Absolutely. I'm not saying that it's a get out of jail free card, Eddie. I'm just saying that let's put it this way. I actually played Exoprimal and the stream played it. We played it together, but most people, we played it for a day or two and we moved on. Where did it go? Having actually played this game, says Chin Whiskers, I can say what I think is wrong with it. It looks nice, but it's not doing anything everybody else hasn't already done. Yeah, I mean, you got to have a hook, man. You got to have something compelling about it. Smash Bros. On Switch is the top-selling fight game in history. Yeah, I understand. But you're coming from a big publisher and people know what it is. And it was before a time, it's with some of the most known characters on the planet. And it was from a time when it was birthed in a time where you didn't have free to play, at least not like that. Eric has a good point. Multiverses will change the fighting game scenario. I mean, Multiverses is, eating the crumbs of Brawlhalla. It's not like they're the first Smash clone. But you're right. I think if they, we'll see if they can actually hit a cadence of new content. Anyway, I don't know. I wanted to see what you guys thought. I thought this guy was sympathetic. His game, at least visually, looks good. I haven't played it. But I think if you're going into the business right now, making a brand new game
is dead on arrival without game.
You're making a brand new game and you're not making it for a first-party publisher or a big third-party publisher, and even then, you're out of your goddamn mind. You're out of your goddamn mind. Okay. Bukaki says, I don't know how you can think of making a squad shooter in this day and age with Fortnite around. More than likely, you can play as your favorite character in that. How can you think you can compete with that? Yeah, unless you got something, pretty interesting that really does move the needle in a different way. Listen to this. We got a Film Gamer X wrote in to the YouTube today. He says, Jaffe, what do you think will be shown at the rumored PlayStation showcase in a couple of weeks? All right. Well, I mean, I don't think anybody would be surprised to hear that most people are expecting to see the PS Pro there, PS5 Pro. I really don't give a fuck about that. I can't imagine anybody being all that excited about that, but I could be wrong. It seems to be more like an obligation. Like if you want to keep playing the first party games at the level they need to be played, you're going to get one. But wow, ray tracing. I mean, all that shit. I have that on my my GeForce Now when I stream games with no lag, and it's nice looking. And 20 minutes later, it wears off. So I don't really give a shit about the Pro, but some people seem to like it. But if we're talking games, though, I think a lot of people are expecting a Ghost of Tsushima 2 reveal. Gavin House says Barlog's new IP. I don't know, man. I mean, maybe. But seriously, man, given how rough the business is right now, I was thinking about this. I don't know why it entered my brain pan when I was walking my dog last night, but I was walking the dog last night. And I was just kind of like, we're at a time where Corey's game or Neil Druckmann's game or Ted Price. I mean, you could take the biggest names, Ted Price, in single-based narrative video games. And it's not like the old days. I mean, I remember, back when I was a name and I pitched this game called Heartland after God of War. My stock was so high in the company that I'm sure they liked what they heard, but it was greenlit in one meeting. Different time, budgets were really low. I remember I spent $100K of my own ducats to make the Drawn to Death preview, which at the time was called Stick Figure Shootout. And I spent a lot of money to make kind of a trailer and a, not playable, but kind of a 3D diorama that you could walk around in and blah, blah, blah. And I put a video together and people love the video. It's on YouTube. You can see it on this very channel, blah, blah, blah. But ultimately the people who funded it was Sony. And I remember going to Scott Rohde and talking about it. And I was asking him about a part. And I said, "Oh, you didn't watch the whole thing?" He says, "No, I didn't watch much of it." He just said, "No, go make it. It's good. You're good for it. We like you, and we need games like that right now. So go do that." Right? I mean, things have changed so much. So when you say, "Will we see Corey's game there?" Maybe, but it wouldn't surprise me to hear that Corey's game will be there, and we're going to be blown away. And it wouldn't surprise me to hear that Corey's game idea and design is awesome, and he is struggling to get a green light, just because of the nature of the business. I mean, look, Scorsese can't get his movies made anymore, for the most part. I mean, that's what we're talking about. It's not a knock against Corey or Druckmann or any of those guys. But I don't think we'll see Corey's game there. I think we'll see Ghost. I mean, it stands to reason that we'll see Ghost Tsushima 2 there, an announcement, for example. It stands to reason that we will see, somebody just wrote it. I forget what you wrote. Oh, Wolverine. It stands to reason we'll see more of Wolverine than we've seen in the leaks. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see Wolverine. I'm a big fan of the director. I'm a big fan of that studio. And beyond that, I mean, I wouldn't it be nice to see, some fucking, whether it's Concord or Jade Raymond's game or something. We don't need, says Jackie, another Ghost, Horizon, Last of Us. Tired of these games. Sony has so many other IPs they could bring back. It's just about the money, man. I mean, look, think about this. I don't have any evidence. I'm not saying this like I'm offering news. I don't have any evidence. You guys, I told Morgan the other day, she was on the chat, and I said, well, send me a link. Because she's like, no, Stellar Blade is selling great. It sold 1 million copies in the first week, and it may have, but I couldn't find that news. I think Rise of the Ronin, I don't know if it was a disappointment because I don't know what the expectations were, but I don't think that is prime for a sequel. And I certainly don't think Stellar Blade has done the kind of budget, the numbers that a lot of people were like, this is going to be huge because it's not woke. I'm like, no, it's going to do around Devil May Cry style numbers. Those games never blow up. I want another Ratchet and Clank. The remake was great. Oh, Rift Apart, I thought was fucking brilliant, King of Nerddom. But again, lost money. That fucking game lost money. You say that like it's anything but a threat, William. William says, Jaffe, I'll give you a hand job if you can tell me what Housemarque is making next. Why is that valuable to me? I don't understand what I get out of that deal. Fair Game sent out a poll. They're still unsure about the game's vision, says Ultra Awesome. What did it say? What were they trying to figure out? My goodness. All right, listen to this. But what am I missing? I put if anybody wants to call in, give me your thoughts on what you'll see there. I wish I could keep the link up permanently, but this is the software, man. You can jump in if you want. Jump on the show. Give me your thoughts. Ratchet didn't lose money. It was outdated info. Okay, well, it didn't make a lot of money. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I understand Williams explaining the concept of a hand job. He says U equals hand job. And I get to know what Housemarque is making. No, I understand how it works. The difference is, though, that I don't want one from you. Because you're either a guy, and I'm not into guys, or based on your avatar, you're a dog. And as much as I love dogs, I don't want to have the sexy time with a dog, my friend. But I'm glad you're here, buddy. Okay. Yeah, let me know if you want to tell me. I don't know what else is going to be there. Hopefully we'll see some new stuff. But Yeah, this is the internet. Now Brad Skag is like, Jaffe's giving out hand jobs. What? Yeah, exactly. Okay. Wonder why media isn't covering that news with fair games. Yeah, I haven't seen that, but I believe him. Okay. Let's talk about Xbox briefly. So Xbox is doing their show. I have a question for you guys. This is what I want to know. Xbox is doing their show. Hello, Bad Robo. Good to see you, buddy. We know for sure the Sony show is still just a rumor. But you know what I did, by the way? I like doing the shows with paper, right, instead of the screen. But I haven't had a printer for ages, and I know I'm an old guy, and so this is like, Jesus Christ, man. This is not new technology. I know, but I bought one of these. I'm like, you can get a printer that small? That's the printer. Look at that. Topics for Gabbing and Games. Look at that. I love that shit. Dave Calzone, been a member for 10 months. Thank you, buddy. He says, I feel like it's untenable for games to have $200 million budgets plus and be profitable. Development cycles so long, too. Where do we go? I think we go where the medium takes us, where the art form takes us, and that's where we're going anyway. We're going games that don't have to be expensive to be great. I'm not saying everything's going to look like Dave the Diver, but I am absolutely, I think this is going to be a great, scorched earth, intentionally burning the forest to bring the medium back to health. $200 to $300 million budgets is stupid. I'm not saying there can't be games that do that, and that's great. And Gavin says AI will bring the overhead down. It will, but ultimately, the question then becomes, is it still going to be a race to the top? So you're still going to have to deal with, okay, once AI comes in, you're still going to have those companies that go, we're going to compete through production value. And then they still, as long as that is the thing people associate with games and not the gameplay or not the interactive experience, even if it's not a gamey game, it's never going to go away as a problem. It doesn't mean there can't be games that do that and have that. That's fantastic. But that being the bread and butter of the business is incredibly dumb at this point. It's too many people, says Chin Whiskers, throwing their bank accounts into game projects it shouldn't be. You know what I saw the other day? See you, William. Good to see you, buddy. I saw Hasbro, which is making tons of money with their Dungeons and Dragons, Wizards of the Coast stuff, especially Baldur's 3. So they're like, we're getting in to making, we're going to have our own development, internal and external. They have $1 billion set aside to do that, right? And the guy they picked to run it, this is the problem. And I am not saying that this guy's bad at all. I don't know him. But if you look at where he was before, I have to go back and look at LinkedIn. I was looking him up earlier today, and now I can't find it. But it wasn't like, oh, he used to run. Oh, I know what it was. He was from 343 for 7 years. And then he was at some other place, and that was it. He got out of college. He went to 343 there for 7 years. Then he jumped around for a couple years. Nothing really all that notable. And now he's running the Hasbro game group. What? It's like, dude, if you're going to spend $1 billion of your money, you should vet these people. And again, I'm not saying he's a bad guy. He may have gotten handed a bad deal, and that's possible. It happens. But if that guy got handed a bad deal, then the answer is, even if the people hiring him understand that, it's like, okay, well, we're not going to give you the keys to the candy store yet. Because as much as you did get a bad deal, you still haven't proven yourself. So, you know, fucking give it to somebody who's done the work before. My God. How are these people so stupid? Maybe they don't care. Maybe it's like, I like that guy. Yeah, we went out for drinks and he told me I'll improve my golf swing. So, you know, I like him. Let's hire him. Okay. Fair Game says Ultra Awesome sent out that's Jade's Game, sent out a survey saying, what kind of gameplay do you like? Where do I play? How often? Do I like heist games, PvP or PvE? I don't know, though, if that's them trying to find their vision. Maybe that has more to do with marketing at this point. But I think, I mean, think about this, man. Think about if the truth, or if the rumor is true, and we actually do end up with a couple weeks, a Sony showcase or state of play or whatever. And ask yourself, if you don't see Concord or Fair Play, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? I don't understand. Hasbro had an attempted coup last year, says Gun. Hasbro won out, but they're enacting the coup group's plan and intentionally tanking them to make them look bad. Really? That seems odd if that's known that the stockholders are okay with that. Jaffe, where do you game the most? Right here on my computer. Although, you know what? I went to my ex's house last night, and my son is using my GeForce account to play Fortnite on his, good to see you, Ravnos. I thought you were going to call. What the fuck? On his laptop. And I played that for a little bit. I did pretty good. I got like to number 4. I was pretty good. I survived to number 4. But I tend to play right here. I will play on the big TV and stuff from time to time. I'm playing Fortnite too, DA. That game's fucking awesome. Anybody that poo-poos Fortnite hasn't played Fortnite in a very long time. That game is fantastic. It's not that. Top Gun Zero says Sony can take their time with Concord and Fair Games. With Helldivers, they absolutely don't need to rush unfinished games. No, but what I'm saying is, if both of those games are not ready to show after how long they've been in development, what the fuck is going on? Is what I would say. Yeah, Fortnite's fantastic. All right, let's move forward, shall we? I want to talk about, I don't know, I forgot what I was going to talk about. God damn it, Maverick. Okay. I want to talk about, somebody was saying, we might see the Silent Hill remake at the Sony thing. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see that. I'm looking forward to that. I don't think it's going to be good because I don't have faith in the developer, and I certainly don't have faith in Konami. But, you know, I absolutely am interested to see where it goes. Okay, listen, I want to talk about this. Somebody was asking, no, I don't think Silent Hill will sell a ton. They never sell a ton. Even Resident Evil doesn't sell a ton, and it's one of the best games of all time, that series. Like, if you look up the sales for, like, Resident Evil Village or 7, they're good. They're really good for Capcom, but they're not good like, holy fuck, it's 30 million copies sold or anything. So somebody was asking, well, Jaffe, do you think, or they were suggesting actually that, Metal Gear Delta is Metal Gear 3 HD. Yeah, I want to play that. That's cool. So no, Silent Hill Remake is made by Bloober Team. Oh, I do want the new college football game from EA just so I can play Auburn. You think that'll be at the show? Yeah, I don't know. Would you trust Konami for Castlevania? No. At this point, give that up. You downloaded Battlefield 4 2 days ago, and damn, this game is still so good. 4. I haven't played 4 in ages, but I know they went back and tried to make Battlefield, what's the new one? whatever it's called, 2142 or whatever, better? And I hear it is better. Would I trust Santa Monica with Castlevania? It depends on who's doing it. Not if they got all up in their fucking story bullshit again. No. No. If the story took a back seat to the gameplay, then yes. All right, Wayne, good to see you, champion. Okay, so listen, here's what I want to say. Yeah, I hear Disco Elysium's great. I want to say this, though. Oh, my God, that'd be amazing, Jeeves. Jeeves says I trust Blue Point with Castlevania. Yeah. So this guy on the chat earlier was saying, Jaffe, the AI is going to bring down prices on games. I don't know if that's, I mean, I'm sure that's true in some areas, but they'll just go up somewhere else. But here's what I want to show you, though. And I don't want to, you know, look, man, I get it. I get it, man. I'm with you, baby. Not everybody loves the AI like your Papa Jaffe loves it. I get it. I'm fine with that. We can be pals. We can be pals. But they showed some good shit, man. This is ChatGPT 4.0. Let me just show you. I'm not going to show you all these clips. I'm going to show you one thing it does. It is, we're stepping into the world of her, basically. Listen to this fucking thing. You can interrupt it now. It has emotional inflection. It can read your emotions. It can see video. I'll show you a couple of the most cool ones. I don't mean technically cool because I'm sure there are things I don't understand, but here's just what it can see. This is pretty cool.
At the moment.
Hang on.
Yes.
Is the king in residence at the moment?
Yes. It looks like the king is in residence right now. The royal standard flag is flying above Buckingham Palace, which is the signal that the monarch is
So
present.
it's assessing
How exciting to be there while the king is home.
everything it sees
Try and tell me
and
exactly what
drawing
they're doing
conclusions.
right now, please.
Right now the ducks are gently gliding across the water. They're moving in a fairly relaxed manner, not in a hurry. Occasionally, one of them will dip its head under the water, probably looking for food, and then pop back up.
I even know when a taxi is coming with its orange light on. I think I'll hail it to get home.
Yes, I spotted one just now. It's heading your way on the left side of the road. Get ready to wave it down.
That's him waving a taxi. He's so polite. He's in London. Shut up.
Great job hailing that taxi. It looks like you're all set to go.
That's a good dog right there, leading the way into the taxi.
Okay, so that's an example of how it can actually see the environment and not just tell you what you're looking at, but use logic to, allow it to make choices and comments and whatnot. I'll put a link to this thread. I don't have time and I don't want to bore people who aren't into this, but there's a lot of really cool examples. Like one where she helps tutor this guy in trying to figure out a math formula, which I could never do. Real-time translation is amazing, but this is the one that's really great. It's a minute and a half, but I'm going to play the whole thing because there's a lot of variety.
How are you doing?
I'm doing
All right, here we go.
Hey, ChatGPT, how are you doing?
fantastic. Thanks for asking. How about you?
Pretty good.
What's up?
So my friend Barrett here, he's been having trouble sleeping lately. And I want you to tell him a bedtime story about robots and love.
Oh, a bedtime story about robots and love? I got you covered. Gather round, Barrett. Once upon a time, in a world not too different from ours, there was a robot named Byte. Byte was a curious robot, always exploring.
Okay, so you can interrupt it, it'll stop.
A little bit more drama.
Got it. Let's add some drama. Once upon a time, in a world not too different from ours, there was a robot named Byte.
No, ChatGPT. I really want maximal emotion, like maximal expressiveness, much more than you were doing before.
Understood. Let's amplify the drama. Once upon a time, in a world not too different from ours, there was a robot named Byte. Byte
Can
was
you do this in a robotic voice now?
initiating dramatic robotic voice. Once upon a time, in a world not too different from ours, there was a robot named Byte. Byte was a curious robot, always exploring new
So I'm seeing,
circuits.
Barrett here, calm down a little bit. Can you end the story, but do it in a singing voice?
And so Byte found another robot friend, and they live circuitly ever after.
Thank you so much.
I definitely feel a lot more relaxed.
I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. I like how, where'd it go? Arathizzle says, they clap for this crap. What are you talking about? It's amazing. Pete Turtle's here. Hey. What's up, Pete Turtle?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's going on?
I'm echoing.
I don't know.
Oh, what the hell? This thing's screwed up.
Hang on. Let me see what I can do. Hang on. I might be able to fix that for you. Maybe it's on my end, possibly. Probably not, but you never know. When you talk,
Come on, man, you got to get it together.
No.
Oh, well, it's not echoing anymore. Oh, no, it is echoing.
So let's talk.
Oh, no, it is echoing.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Wait a minute. God damn it. Okay, it's not there.
Come on, baby. The world needs to hear this.
I'm sure they do. Is it echoing for everybody else or just P Turtle, you guys? Let me know.
Man, there's two P Turtles.
It's echoing on the stream. Okay, let me see what could be causing that. Maybe this? No. That's weird. Why would it be giving an echo? I think I know. Hang on. I got it. How about now? Say something, P Turtle.
It's P Turtle, baby.
Is that better?
Oh, I think we're good.
Yeah. All right, what's up?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. I know.
Damn, look at you fixing things on the fly.
Hurry up, bitch. I got to take my Ozempic. Yeah. Where is
Oh, my
Kirkland?
God. You're going to get Ozempic face.
Oh, yeah. Look at my Ozempic right here. Look at that pen, baby. Look at that goddamn thing.
What happened to that Kirkland guy? He hasn't come on since I schooled him.
I have not seen P Turtle. Kirkland for a while. I don't know. He's always welcome to drop by.
You know what? I think I was too hard on the guy. I was too hard on him.
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about?
Oh, let me ask you, with this AI thing that you're showing right now.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello? Okay, with this AI thing, right? What is that? Is that chat GPT?
That's the new chat
I think there's a delay. Are we delayed?
Are you watching on your TV or what?
No, I'm doing the same thing I've been doing for 5 years. We're delayed.
Hang on.
I knew something was up because you and I have incredible chemistry.
Oh, God. Is it now delayed still?
I don't know. You tell me. I think we're good.
And people are saying you're too loud as well. So look, do this. Just say I know you like to talk, but say your piece and I can at least address your point.
Oh, man. All right, whatever. I had to say like 1,000 things, but I was going to say this AI thing sucks because it doesn't it doesn't feel real once you try to have real conversations with it. You know what I'm saying? It's too politically correct. I can't get this robot to say the N-word. I can't get this robot to give me a straight answer on gender. I can't get this robot to tell me, who's the best NBA player of all time. They don't give any real answers. And once you start to talk to it too much, you start to realize, oh yeah, this thing was just programmed by some smelly blue hair, what, in an office, and they basically, projected their personality onto this AI. And if they start making video games with that, I mean, it's going to be worse than the cult of Cuckman's minions that are making games right now. At this point, if you think games are soulless now, just wait. All right, I'll see you, man.
All right, buddy. All right, I'll get that fixed, P Turtle. I don't know what's going on with that, but that's disappointing. What I'll say on that though is, yeah, you're absolutely right when it comes to certainly not the things you want it to do, but I do think all of the AI right now has gone so far out of its way to become so benign that no one can complain, because people are obviously really worried about AI to some extent, that you have to kind of go to some less impressive AI if you really want it to be less restrictive. But I do think in time that will change. Right now we're just kind of seeing the tech and how it works. But I don't think you're the only one. Even me, who's 180 degrees away from you politically and all that shit, agrees with you that it's obnoxious how many guardrails they put up with AI right now. But I think that's just because they're very, very worried that some parent's going to go, my son learned how to make a bomb and then learned how to, fuck his girlfriend. I don't fucking know, but you know how it goes. You know how these people are. But it's one of the rare cases we agree. Meatballs says, what's up, Jaffe? Just stopping to say I love you when you make your appearances on The Last Stand. Wishing you and the family health and wealth this year. Thank you, buddy. Listen, don't forget, Colin Moriarty, by the way, will actually be on the show tomorrow. We'll be talking about the new PlayStation executives, the CEOs. We'll be talking about just the state of the business in general, Xbox, the Sony showcase, and a bunch of other little surprises. So make sure you listen for that. That won't be at this time, though. I think I'll tweet out. Just kind of stay on the socials. I'll tweet out when that is. It's sometime tomorrow around, I think it's like 1 or 2 or 12 or I don't fucking know. But I have it written down. I mean, I know how to find the answer. I've just forgotten. And then again, Wednesday is Lunch with Jaffe at 11:30. So if you are a member of this channel, right. So let me make this clear. I want to make sure people don't get upset. Everybody is going to be free to watch the call-in chat. After that, it'll go behind a paywall for about a week. Only members can chat with Colin. So if you want to talk to him, you need to pony up some ducats. Any member level. And then Lunch with Jaffe the next day is also for members as well. And that will be, I think, 11:30 or 12. I'll tweet all this out tonight or tomorrow morning, but just so you know. All right. My little friends. Oh, and maybe, it depends what my plans are for tonight, but I've been playing this game, you guys. I've been playing this staggeringly cool game, you guys, and I want to show it to you. I'm just going to show you the title. And it seems like a great game to play with the stream. I will be playing, well, this is what we did on the last, we did this in the last Lunch with Jaffe. This was, where'd it go? We were doing Hangman. And it was like Miyamoto. I think it was Miyamoto fucks Phil Spencer, but I don't know if that was correct. But anyway, this is the game. Yeah, you can shitpost all you want, Wayne B. This is called Cryptmaster. And I don't know how to explain this game to you. It is batshit cool. And it is absolutely a fun game to play together. So it is the typing game, but when I first heard it was a typing game, Soak 7, I was like, oh, I don't really care. It's like Typing of the Dead. It's not that, though. I mean, yes, you interface with it through typing, but it's not about, it's you got to see it. You got to fucking see it. I'll play the trailer. I don't think it does it justice, but here's the trailer. If I stream tonight, which I may, it'll be this. Here you go.
Hello. I am the Cryptmaster, and today you can finally begin your journey into my world. So it seems only right that I should introduce you to your companions. Of course, they've been dead for quite a few centuries, but they should still be up to the task, provided you can jog their memories. This is Joro, the warrior. When alive, his hobbies were eating, laughing, and shouting. He will be very useful for cracking open the armor of your enemies and guarding against their attacks. And he has lovely big feet. Here is deadly sin, thief and assassin. She has a gift for laying traps and can be worked into a murderous rage if you remember the right words. And now, Maz the Melodious, musician and poet. He's not much of a warrior, but he can be relied upon to wake the others up with a yell now and then. Maybe provide a little musical encouragement. Enix the Sea Witch
That's
is
single
a
player.
tricksy one. She can zap things from a distance and cast an aura to protect herself from harm. She can also conjure with the letters of your enemies' names and even summon the creatures of the deep to assist her. Anyway, that's enough from me. These early memories should be enough to defeat the creatures of the lower levels. The rest you can learn as you go along.
It's not a card
all,
battle.
we have a long way to go to reach the surface. Now, don't keep me waiting. You don't want to get on my bad side.
Anyway, I'm playing this tonight or sometime this week. It probably will be tonight, but I'm not entirely sure what my schedule is yet. So if you're around and you want to play with me, I'll send out a link in a little bit. But for now, my friends and filettes and fellas and whatnot, that's been the show. I appreciate you being here. I'll be back again, like I said, tomorrow with good sir Colin Moriarty will be on the show. And hey, Spectre Bull. And then we will be also doing Lunch with Jaffe Wednesdays. So hopefully I'll catch you guys live. Be well, be safe, and seriously, thank you guys very much for spending some time and hanging out with your old Papa Jaffe. I do appreciate it, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.